Hello everybody, welcome back to In My Shed. I'm BC. It's good to have the stock take over and done with, and a little bit of time to do what I want to do. Man, it's been busy. Last month was dreadful, a lot of work to do, and this month looks pretty much the same. So finally back on the cutter grinder, and what I have here is the dovetail cutter. I'll bring you in closer to look with the next section with the other camera. It's better on telephoto. Bit of a Heath Robertson setup to try and get the cutter at the right table angle. I don't trust the degree marked down on the table. It's not accurate enough to do a dovetail cutter anyway, but that'll be the first bit of work for the day. Before that, I'll show you a couple of cutters I bought from M&G Products down in Melbourne. 40 and 50mm 3-flute high-speed steel countersink with a Weldon shank and a 3-piece countersink set. I think the whole lot cost me just under $200, so I'm quite happy, and luckily I have a 3 Morse taper to Weldon adapter for running cutters in the mill. So I'll put the other camcorder up and give you a good look at what I bought. I find their products to be really cheap, and the quality is surprisingly good. I don't know about the cutter composition, we'll try that in the future, but big countersinks are horrendously expensive to buy. Okay, swap cameras, take you over to bench. Well, here we are with the tools I bought. I'll show you the indexable insert countersinks. Bit of an unusual set. One insert only does roughly one size. So interchangeable. They've got different inserts for the different size cutters. At the price, I'm not going to complain. We'll see what they operate like when we get a job. Nice little box. You get a set of keys with it, so quite happy with that. And I'll only be working on mild steel, although that diameter it's going to be grunting and swearing a little bit, I think. Good value. Come across here, here's the high-speed steel countersinks. I've got the smaller one, the 40mm, open for your perusal. Look like they're very well ground. Weldon shank, or universal shank rather, so you can use a Weldon side lock or quick release. To get cutters this cheap at this size is a bit unusual. And over here, that's the Morse taper shank that I'll be driving them with. That's these 2 countersinks. The set's got plain shank on them, but that's just an old drive shaft out of a magnetic drill press. It used to have the coolant ring around there, and I've taken that off, and I just use that for holding the cutters when I'm gulleting, but it does come in handy for running larger tools like this with a Weldon shank. So hopefully on a project a little bit into the future, I'll be able to give you a demo of the countersinks working. But in the meantime, if you go to M&G Products, they're a group that I support because I think that they're reasonably priced. They don't make any pretensions about their product being absolutely the best in the world, but to me it's damn good value. I've got some small grinding vices off them that I had in a previous video, and extremely happy with what I got for the money. Okay, we'll go back to the grinding in a sec. Okay, now we're over to the Clarkson. The cutter proved to be an absolute pig of a thing to set up. I had no idea how I was going to get anywhere near the angle. The manual shows you grinding the cutter between centres. Well, I say BS to that. I just could not get the setup right. I don't know if I was using the wrong wheels or whatever, but following the manual, I had no hope in hell of ever getting it there. Now, this is a little bit of a Heath Robertson Dicky setup I used, and it had to scratch my bloody head to get it right, and in the end, Graham came up with a suggestion of using the base out of a combination set because it's got the 45-degree base mounted on it. So I very quickly set the table close to 45 with an engineer's protractor, which is reasonable. And then with the base, a couple of cable ties, I tied it onto the bottom of the cutter because the bottom of the cutter looked like it hasn't been butchered as much as the rest of it. That brought the 45-degree angle, brought the base around to parallel with the table. I then very gingerly moved it across with the lever indicator there, and I think I've got about 1/100 of a millimetre error, and that is bloody close enough for me. Looks reasonable. Now I'll get the table out after I cut the cable ties, and figure out how much drop I need on the cutting edge to get the correct clearance. And the instructions are to average the drop for the minor and the major diameters and come out with half of it both added. I think I'll err more to the side of the larger diameter because that is the part that's doing all the hard work, and I'd hate to see it have minimal clearance. So I'll cut that off, go and consult the chart while I have a bit of tucker, because it's tucker time, and come back and we'll just put the height gauge up, rotate the cutter around to where it should be, and then I'll put the indexing finger up on the cutting edge over here. It's a symmetric cutter, so I'll be able to index off this tooth while I'm grinding one over the other side. Bring you back when all that is ready to go. Bye for now. Well, this time we're trying to grind the primaries on the end teeth. The side teeth just come up fair. It had really been brutalised on a bench grinder or a linisher, and I'm not satisfied with that job, but if I take all the divots out there won't be any flute depth left, so I'm not going to do that. I'll kick the grinder in the belly now, get it up and running, and we'll take a couple of thou off and then try and zoom in to see if we can get a look what the clearance is like. As Landy would say, let's go for it. We're just starting to take a cut there. I think another 1 or 2 runs around and we'll have it all the way out. That's looking fairly good so far. So only take a very small infeed. Looks promising. And what does that look like? Now, a little bit more required. Okay. That looks fairly good. I don't think I'll brutalise the cutter any further. Okay, that's all for now. If you want to hang around for a few seconds, I'll show you what I'm going to use to make the camera stand. Back soon. Well, this is the poor, unsuspecting item. I was looking around the workshop to see what I could use to make a camera stand base. And I needed something with an upright column that I can put an arm on and get the camera about 1.5 or 2 metres away from the operation, because that tripod's always under my feet. Well, here we have it. Nice cast aluminium triangular base, about 1.75 inches upright, with a swivel fitting on the top, and off goes the fan. That'll be one of the jobs for next weekend. Okay, bye for now. Please like and subscribe if you think my fun's good enough to watch. Bye guys.